Hey everyone, how's it going? Haven't talked to you since we had some disappointing news about the intense flooding, which is still ongoing for Manitoba. But today we're going to talk about something different. No, it's not a Colorado low, so you're safe. We're going to talk about the first severe weather setup for southern Manitoba and possibly southeastern Saskatchewan. So main threats will be heavy downpours, likely some hail, and there is a non-zero threat for tornadoes. So we're going to get into details right now. Stay tuned. So it is severe weather season. We are in May, getting into the peak months. End of June, July are the peak months for the prairies. Storms happen a lot in the prairies in the summer, so we need to get ready for that. All right, so let's get into it now. So what's happening? Well, here we have this nice plot by the National Weather Service, which shows front locations. So here in blue, if you look into the Manitoba Saskatchewan border, we have a big L in red here. So that's the low pressure coming through. Let me zoom through it here. I believe it's Alberta-ish Clipper. Oh no, okay, so it's not an Alberta Clipper, but you can see this blue line here is basically the cold front, and then the red line is the warm front. And then there's a prefrontal trough. Anyways, it is pretty complicated. I won't get into details. Basically, there's a weather system coming your way on Saturday. So I'll just throw in here. Weather Logics is based in Winnipeg, and they do severe thunderstorm outlooks. So here's their outlook for Saturday. You can see they have a slight risk of severe thunderstorms. This includes Brandon, goes all the way into the Inner Lakes, Estevan, and then Minot. So if you want to follow their page, go for it. Weather Logics. They have a website, they have a YouTube. I suggest you follow them throughout this severe weather season. They put out some great content. So let's go into model land here to take a look at your timing and what to expect. So here you have the national blended model for Saturday. You can see that temperatures will be getting into the 20s for southern Manitoba. So congratulations, you're moving away from winter, finally. You can see that the lakes are still cold. But anyways, areas of southwestern Manitoba into the Red River Valley should see some nice temperatures on Saturday. Unfortunately, it'll be short-lived. So you can see moving forward here, the cold front comes through Saturday evening into the night, and then your temperatures drop again. So you'll probably want to enjoy that nice day on Saturday, but you'll want to be aware that severe thunderstorms are likely. So let's use the latest NAM 3 kilometers convective allowing model here. We're going to start to, so when we're looking at severe storms, go into a little bit more details and it gets a bit complicated. So here I'm just going to use what we call the top-down approach. So we start with the upper levels in the atmosphere, which is, here I'm using the 500 millibar chart here. So this is looking at Saturday in the morning. So you can see, you see this feature here coming off California going into Saskatchewan. That is what we call a trough. So this is an upper level trough, which is basically going to bring cyclogenesis into western North Dakota, Saskatchewan area. That's basically what I'm looking at for that, and there's a cold front coming with it. Now, if we go a little bit closer to the surface, I'm not doing a true top-down approach here, but I'm going to zoom into kind of the prairies here. You can see we saw that there's going to be some pretty decent temperatures in the 20s. So now we're looking at moisture dew points. We can see that we have, not summer level dew points, but we're looking at 50s, mid 50s dew points here, which is conducive for severe weather here. So that will lead to essentially instability. So let's take a look at instability now. So we'll look at the mixed layer instability here. You can see a pocket of 1500 joules into basically along the cold front in southeastern Saskatchewan and moving into Manitoba. So that's going to be your fuel for the storms here. And in terms of inhibition, there's not going to be any, so you're going to get pretty much guaranteed storms, thunderstorms. There's pretty good lapse rate, so they're probably going to be severe fairly quickly. If we look at a supercell parameter, there is a chance of supercells. So now let's start clicking on these, because I want to see in more details what we're looking at here. So if we go and click on this pocket of supercell composite here on the Manitoba Saskatchewan border, I think this is Moosomin here, we're going to get a vertical profile of the atmosphere. So this gives us a big picture of what the atmosphere might look like at that location. So I'm not going to teach you how to read these, but there's a feature at the bottom left that's called D-Cape here, and it's almost 1,000. So when you get into 1,000 to like 1,500, this is downdraft cape. So your storms are probably going to be, you're going to have like outflow, you're going to be a lot of downbursts, not very good for tornadoes. And the other thing I look at right off the bat, obviously the instability here, you can see ML, that's mixed layer cape, but we already looked at it, so we don't need to look at that again. But if we go into the second panel here at the bottom, you have shear values. Surface to 1 kilometer, 25, surface to 3 kilometers, 37. And SRH, storm relative helicity, 190 at the low levels. So that's actually conducive for tornadoes. So there is your possibility of tornadoes here. And from what I'm seeing here, it's possible that the storms will be elevated. So that's something I can take a look at using MU Cape. Yeah, MU Cape is going to be pretty elevated. And look at photographs. There you go. Okay, so photographs is used basically to see what this curvature of the storm could look like. So if we look at where I have my pointer here, I think you can see that, right? I hope you can see that. So my pointer here is in southeastern Saskatchewan. You see this photograph here is elongated like this. This is more conducive for hail here. And then just to the right here, you have a curved photograph like this, and then it, backs that way. So this backing photograph here, I guess this is closer to Brandon, is better for supercells / mesocyclones / possible tornado development here. So these are the kind of photographs that we have to watch closely. There is a very narrow window of possible supercells structure. It'd probably be a mixed mode, and obviously a narrower window for tornadoes. So here we can look at knowing everything that goes into the forecast. The ingredients are there, the moisture is there, the upper level support is there, and then we have instability that's there, not only in the mixed layer, but also there won't be a cap, or there won't be anything restricting storms from blowing up. So we're probably going to get supercells out of this, or at the very least mixed modes of multi-cells / supercells. Now, knowing all of this going in, then we can start looking at what the radar might look like. So this is the last tool you should use, the composite reflectivity here. So if we look at that, you can see all these cells are popping out on the Saskatchewan-Manitoba border here. So we're looking at Melita area here. And then as the evening goes on, so now we're at 7 p.m. here, Central Daylight Time, you see a big storm here. Was it Turtle Mountain area, I think? Just east of Melita here. So this would be your supercell here. And there's another storm closer to Brandon. So we can click. I'll just go. This is the storm here. So we click on that. It'll be contaminated. But if we go back, we can go back, and you can see here I have my dot here. So my dot shows me that the supercell will go through this area. So I want to sample what it would look like just ahead of this supercell here to see what the possible hazards would be. So from what I'm seeing now, it looks pretty elevated. You see the LCL height is quite high at 1 kilometer here, and the LFC is even higher. So this is probably going to be an elevated storm. And then you have a northeast moving storm. DCAPE is reasonable. SRH is quite high here, 278 meters per second. Yeah, so, and then you look at the hodograph. Look at the hodograph, there's a lot of shear here. You got like 50 knots at, was it? Oh, I guess it's upper level shear. Yeah, so I guess tornado potential is very low, I guess. Mostly to the nature of probably multi-cell / elevated storms. It's not zero, but it's pretty close to it. There's also factors that you have to consider here. The Manitoba, these storms will be right on the Manitoba Escarpment, and we all know that Manitoba Escarpment is notorious for, enhancing low-level shear. We so many cases. The Alonzo EF4, the Eli tornado, the Scarf Manitoba tornado. Those were all like influenced by the Manitoba Escarpment. I'm not saying it's going to be a huge tornado like that, not even close, but you got to keep in mind that the low-level shear will likely be enhanced exactly where this storm is going through here. So keeping that in mind, I wouldn't be surprised if there is a very short, narrow window of tornadoes possible. So that's pretty much it. So your timing, you're looking at, well, you're going to be able to enjoy your day, and then you're looking at your classic peak heating, 4 or 5 p.m. You might have some pretty big storms starting to fire up in southwestern Manitoba, and then from the 5 or 4, I'll say 4 to 7 to even possibly 8 p.m. time frame is when your storms are going to be the most severe. So just a reminder, it is severe weather season, and hopefully you're prepared for this event. It's not going to be a huge event here, but for areas of southwestern Manitoba that are already seeing overland flooding, this is not going to help. You're probably going to get some pretty intense downpours from these storms here. So just prepare for that. If you're experiencing overland flooding in the Brandon area, north of that, or in the Melita, or just a little bit east of that, near Turtle Mountain, then get prepared. Saturday, you're probably going to have some heavy downpours from thunderstorms.